I wanted to ask you, when you look at the telephony business in India, two things are apparent. One, of course, is there are value-added services like 3G. If you interlink that with broadband and so on and so forth, the whole plethora of services open up. The other, of course, is a more basic service that people, especially in rural areas, can really gain by getting basic information, even as basic as information on SMS. Now, where do you think the real opportunity and the thrust of the focus should be? Should it be at the higher end of the spectrum or should it be at the lower end of the spectrum?
I think we can't neglect either. We have to have a balanced approach. We've just started a month ago WiMAX services for the first time.
Right, yes.
And these are the latest technologies available worldwide. So I think India is now really in the forefront of absorbing and implementing the latest technologies that the world has to offer. So in terms of what services should we focus on, like I said, I think the marketplace is very dynamic and the demands are changing every quarter. So people are forced to evolve new services, new products to meet those consumer demands. Innovative schemes are being launched to have greater penetration. We from the government are giving support through the USOF to make sure that the non-viable or so far non-viable places where private companies are not happy to go and set up mobile towers and give connectivity, those places the government of India is subsidizing. The future services, future technologies, what they are bringing to the table will, I think, help us in changing the way the governance happens, in the way the people have responded to governance and really the businesses that they conduct. And I think e-governance is really going to become a reality in the very near future. It really is important in a country like India, which I think till very recently didn't have much connectivity either, whether it's roads or with communication services.
That's right.
But e-governance, I think, will also make way for having a much more transparent way of functioning, whether it's the state governments or central governments or the bureaucracy. And I think when young people are looking to have a sense of confidence in the people that are running this country, e-governance will go a very long way in that.
In the model of the future, you know, I was talking to Dr. Swaminathan and he was talking about how what agriculture needs much more than subsidy is information. And in the poorest parts of the country, farmers need information on which they can base from everything from rates at the mandis to weather changes. If they can get information through telephony, that would go a long way, much more, he believes, than subsidies and really helping that sector, that beleaguered sector really. Do you see
Certainly,
that kind of
information
do you see
is
that
key.
kind of information flowing out?
Absolutely, and I think we made some very important initiatives we've taken up already in the past. Information is key and really more important and relevant for people who don't have access to that. Now, whether it's a farming community or the fisherman community, there have been many pilot projects that we've initiated where information is disseminated and people are able to make a much better value judgment of their products, of their crops, of what they should do in terms of, you know, which markets and how to connect themselves from the markets to the harvest that they have made. So farming communities, the deprived communities who live on the fringes, for them information and access to information is very critical.
That's right.
Once you have wireless broadband coming in, and I hope the numbers will grow exponentially in the next 12 to 18 months, that will see a proliferation of information. And once you have that information really percolating down to small businesses, SMEs, small and medium enterprise businesses, individuals, entrepreneurs, individual farmers and groups and self-help groups, I think that is going to change the landscape of our rural economics and how it's been working so far. So I'm very hopeful that this will really change the way things have been performed, and moving into the future, information through communication services, through internet, through the technology that we are developing and putting in place will really help us to grow much more faster.
One of the things that people are looking out in the telephony business in India is, where will India take the threshold, the bottom line threshold? In your mind, is there a bottom line threshold, Minister?
Well, I don't think it's fair for me to say and to point out what the bottom line should be, because I think every company, every industry is free to decide for itself, given the free markets that we have, as to what the bottom line is going to be and where it should lie. I'll give you one example though of BSNL, of a PSU. In state of Bihar, there is a scheme that they've launched. It's called the Friends and Family Scheme, wherein you can take a connection for four individual mobile connections, and for 12 months, that's for 1 year, there is absolutely free of charge airtime between these 4 people. So in the last year, in 2000, and I think this is 2009, 2010, we added about 132 million mobile connections, and almost 40% of them came from rural parts of our country. So that's changing the dynamics of how the industry operates. So the ARPU, which is the average revenue per user, may be going down, but the numbers are growing in the millions. So I think the private operators and the government operators are looking to catch as much of the market as possible.
Okay, some of the figures that have been thrown up by the government in the past have been 10 paise for local calls and 25 paise for STD. It's something that we have heard from your ministry, from the minister himself. But is there a timeline to which that could, I mean, even at the moment, even with ever falling rates, that still looks like a bit of a dream.
I think it's not fair to put timelines because, like I said, the mobile industry in this country is so dynamic and so vibrant that we are achieving targets much before than anyone has ever imagined for them to be achieved. In terms of the call rates that you mentioned, even a few years ago, if you were to say that the call rates are going to be anywhere in the range of half a rupee a minute, people would laugh it off. If you were to say that we're going to add 10 million mobile subscribers a month 5 years ago, most people would not believe you. No analyst, no industry commentator would have given those kind of numbers. But I think India, with this fundamental economic strength in place, with a stable government which is positive and really focused on delivering the goods, that kind of environment, that kind of positioning that the government has made for itself, the industry with the way it's really now rigorously targeting rural parts of our country, I won't be surprised if we are able to achieve some of those figures much before than anyone has ever predicted. Central government and the state governments coming together and to see how we can really, because the demand for hardware in India is also growing very, very fast. To fulfill those demands, we are having to import a lot of the hardware. I think nothing will serve us better than to have our own strengths where we will start manufacturing. We'll also get a lot of job opportunities.